Hey all, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at the Takara release of Deluxe Class Transformers Earthspark hashtag. I don't usually pop for the Takara versions of things, and I'm always nervous about the tolerances, to be honest with you. But I will say this, man, I really miss the blister packs. I preferred them because you could see the bot all the way around before you took one off the pegs. I know we have the boxes now, but I always preferred these, I'm not going to lie. Anyway, Earthspark Deluxe Class hashtag will be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you are at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. Helps me out a ton, let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. And this is hashtag. Now, I wasn't in on Earthspark for like all of the Optimus Primes and the Bumblebees and, you know, the Megatrons and the Starscreams and whatnot, but I have loved the Terrans and the one Chaos Terran that I have, which of course is Aftermath. And I wondered, would I get the Hasbro Warrior class version of this mold or the Takara Deluxe class version? The big difference is, of course, the shade of purple, really, that's used. The Takara has a couple of added paint apps, but not much more. Not as much as you would think. And the big difference is that because the Hasbro one is going to be a Warrior class, it's the top of the truck mode is going to have this attachment, I suppose you would say, so that it can attach with, it's shown attached with Spitfire, or I guess Twitch, right? Where you can put them together, and I can't remember what the ability is called, but it's some way where they attach together. The Takara one got rid of that nonsense and said, look, she got rid of her, like, I think it's Ghost alt mode, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the human group in Earthspark. So many human groups. Mech, Nest, Cemetery Wind, Ghost. Anyway, she gets rid of that truck version and gets like a pickup truck version. And they said, that's nice, that's clean. So on the top of the truck, they replaced the connection with just a plain roof, just a plain top of a truck panel, which I prefer. I also feel like because Earthspark is winding down, I don't know how plentiful that Warrior class release will be, at least in my neck of the woods. And because I have all of the other Terrans, I really wanted a proper hashtag. Not a Tacticon, and not a truck mode that has some gimmicky junk on the top of it. Just give me a clean truck and a clean bot. Does she fill both of those requests? I guess we're going to find out when we head over to the table and take a closer look at her. Please note that I am going to actually do the transformation. Because she came in truck mode, normally I do the way that they come in package to the other mode, so it should be truck to robot. Please note that this time around, I am actually going to do the transformation from bot back to truck, so that when the inevitable Hasbro release comes, which will be packaged in robot mode, at least then you folks will have a frame of reference of how to do the transformation from truck back, or so from robot back to truck. So without any further ado, as I said, let's head over to the table and take a closer look at her. And yes indeed, this is the Transformers Earthspark version of Deluxe Class hashtag, the Takara Tomy release. As previously stated, I think I said this in the intro, the Hasbro release will be Warrior class, a little bit of a color tweak, but that one is going to be packaged in robot mode. This one was packaged in truck mode. I know there are some reviewers who have done the transformation from truck to robot already, the way it comes in a package, getting theirs from Japan. As such, I'm actually going to show the transformation going in the other direction from robot to truck, so that you can get a full sense of how the transformation is done, as I presume most people are likely to get the Hasbro release. I have loved Earthspark. I have loved the Terrans and new characters with a new creation and a new lore. I did not want to risk missing out on hashtag. So that's why I got this one, for those who might be wondering. Packaging is what it is, of course, coming from Takara. It's a blister pack rather than a box, so we don't have, you know, your typical Earthspark picture with like Optimus B and the Maltos on the side or anything like that. We have a blister here that has the logo up here. It has the Terran symbol, I suppose, there. Hashtag down here, both of her, well, her alt mode and her robot mode. And then on the back, of course, you can see the all the writing in Japanese that I can't read, and you can see the product in both robot and truck yet again. Even in Japanese, these instructions are nice, super clear, super clean, super effective. She also comes with two of these blasters. They seem to be cast in purple or indigo and painted in a matte black. Okay, so here now we have hashtag. We're going to do the transformation, but I'm going to come back after the transformation and we'll go through the articulation. We'll do some robot mode comparisons then, and I'll give the scores then. But I do want to show the transformation. I didn't want to save it till the end because I want to talk about some things, especially with her coloring. So we'll go back to it after the fact. I know it's a little weird, a little out of the norm for old GotBot, but stick with me. So for the transformation, like I said, I'm going to do it the way that it will come in the Hasbro packaging, which will be robot mode. We begin by bringing the arms, shoulders, whatever you want to call it, out. We can also just bring this piece up over the head. Her head does nothing. It just stays right there where it's to. Then we can angle up the shoulders and angle up the shoulders. And they all kind of go in on the front there. We can take a foot and bring it all the way back. And take a foot and bring it all the way back. Then we can collapse a leg. Actually, let's not collapse the leg yet. Let's bring the arms back first, shall we? We're going to open out the inside of the forearm. Right there. We're going to open that out. We're going to open that out. And then we're going to bring these down on the side. And yeah, I was afraid of that. This piece likes to fold in when you bring it down on the side. Note that. We bring it down here on the side. And we bring it up here, right? So it should look like this. You're kind of angling the arm up a little bit by the tire, really. It's a bit of a weird movement, but once you do it, I mean, you'll know the feeling, right? It's easy to do. We're going to bring now this part of the truck up, and over here, we're going to do the same thing. Collapse the leg, bring that part of the truck up, and then on the back here, where the feet are, we put the feet together, and boom, in the end here we have hashtag in her truck mode. You will note we have a couple of little nubs here. That's where the blasters go on. The blasters have a rectangular slot that goes down over right there, and it goes down over right there on that side. Now I'm going to adjust the camera so that we can get a better close-up look at the truck. And this looks pretty great. It is not completely animation accurate, even though everybody likes to say Takara does everything animation accurate. No, they don't. And let me explain to you why in this mode. I'm not giving any scores yet for the record, but something to keep in mind later on. Now I think this is pretty good. I like that on the top, and I'm going to mention this, I'm sure a few times, I like that there is just a flat panel up here rather than something to connect to something else, which is the whole gimmick thing that the Hasbro one will have. I just didn't want that on the top. I like this indigo, I'm calling it indigo purple. It's more of a blue than a purple to me. I don't think it's quite animation accurate. I think that purple is a deeper purple. We'll talk about that later. I do like the headlights. I do like the turn signals, I guess. I do like the wheels having the molding that they should have if you look at the animation for the truck, but too bad they didn't paint it silver. Also, the running board down here should be silver. It's not painted silver, and where the blasters are attached here, just behind that there's a little molded detail that should also be painted silver with, I can't remember if it's yellow in the center or Allspark blue in the center. One of the two. I think it's yellow though. And I don't understand for the life of me why the back of the truck looks like this. I don't know what this is. I don't know why the feet were done that way. As I'll explain later, they shouldn't be done that way. But I really enjoy the transformation. It's super quick, it's super simple, but at the same time, it's involved enough to be interesting. And while you might think having to position the arms is a bit of a chore, it's really not. They kind of go buttery smooth into place. It's a fun transformation for a fun transformer. Now, as promised, we're going to go from the truck, which by the way rolls tremendously well. We're going to go from the truck looking like this back to the robot. And we're going to do all of the other discussion from there on. So, we're going to go from this to... And as promised, here she is with the rest of the Maltos, the rest of the Terrans, if you will, the rest of her team. And I love the look of this. You will notice that on the far end, Jawbreaker is the Warrior class one, though I have the Deluxe. I reviewed it. I prefer the Warrior class because it's more animation accurate, and I find the transformation very clever. Next to that, we have Warrior class Thrash, who I also prefer over the Deluxe because the Deluxe has the shield, but the shield is like a faux piece that doesn't turn into an actual sidecar. With the Warrior, we get the actual sidecar, which I personally prefer. Then, of course, we have hashtag in the center. Then we have Deluxe class Twitch. I really want Spitfire, the Chaos Terran, as the Warrior class mold, just so I have a different mold for Spitfire. And we have, of course, Nightshade down here on the far end, who's pretty scientific, pretty creative, likes to hang around with Wheeljack a bit. So does Jawbreaker, for that matter. So I think that this whole group looks really good together. A very unique Transformers aesthetic. Now, there's one more Terran that I actually want to show next to hashtag for a specific reason. And that reason will take us into our scores. Now, here she is next to Aftermath. This is the Hasbro version of Aftermath, and I know that the coloration is somewhat off, especially on the lower legs, but I love this purple, and I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the shade of purple that's going to be used for the Hasbro release is probably this same shade of purple. And I'll say it now, I'm pretty sure that this Aftermath shade of purple is actually more like the shade of purple from the cartoon, as compared to this more indigo shade of purple that the Takara release chose to use. So we're going to take that out of it. Let's get into the scores with that caveat out of the way. And we're going to start the scores with the look, first and foremost. Let's keep in mind that for the look, we aren't comparing her to the Ghost alt mode that she had, which was that more like armored truck. In Season 2, she trades out that alt mode for a more sleek, slender, and cool-looking pickup. And I think I like it better. And I'm kind of glad that if they were going to give us a version of hashtag, that they would do it with the new body type rather than the old body type, since she traded that one in, right? And starting from the feet, working our way up. The feet are completely wrong. They should not have like these, I don't know, thruster toes, I suppose we'll call them. Her feet are just basically flat and kind of white-gray on the bottom, and the top of them are purple. Then this tire that's out here on the side really should be this tire just above her foot. It's molded there. They didn't color it the color of a tire, I guess because the actual tire is on the side of her leg. So what's on the side of her leg really should push over and become the shin. That said, I'm okay with the way that they handled it here. On the front of the shin, we are missing a gray paint app and a yellow one. The molded line is there that should be yellow, but we don't have that detail. We do have the Allspark blue on the knee. The little bit of Allspark blue and orange that's on the inside here, I don't know why that's there. It's not in the animation. But, I mean, I'm not angry about it. The Hasbro release will not have that app on the inside of the leg. Don't think it's really needed. No big deal. Other than that, up to the knees, the only difference between the Hasbro and this one is that the Hasbro will use a different shade of purple that I think is more show accurate. And whereas this one has the Allspark blue and the reddish orangish semicircle on the inside of the leg, that won't be on the Hasbro one. Only differences so far. Thighs look to be exactly the same. Pelvis is again correct based on the animation. It should be purple. It is purple. The abdomen should be gray. This one is gray with some Allspark blue detail, or silver with some Allspark blue detail. Again, you don't need the Allspark blue detail. The Hasbro one won't have that. It's not in the animation. The torso chest is supposed to be purple. There should be a Terran logo on the upper chest. It's not on the Takara version, and I'm pretty sure it's also not on the Hasbro version, but I could be wrong about that. I'm not 100% sure if the Hasbro version has it or not. I don't think so. Then we get to the shoulders. Both shoulders are fine, honestly. Both shoulders have the exact same paint apps, with the Allspark blue for the headlights, the gunmetal gray grille, and the, I guess I don't know what you call them, headlights, fog lights, signal lights here on the side. Signal lights, I guess. This one and the Hasbro, which I like, has the actual correct molded in detail on the rims, but it's still left black. It's not picked out in silver or any such thing. Bummer. The hands should be silver, but there's a band across the knuckles that should be purple. Again, the band is molded in here, not colored in. The forearm should be purple, the biceps should be gray. That's all fine. The face should be gray. The helmet should be purple. That's fine. The blue detailing way back here, that's fine. Even the blue visor, it's too bad that that wasn't translucent. And in behind the visor, you could see her painted eyes. I think I would have preferred that, even though I know a lot of people hate translucent. The Hasbro version, for the record, when it comes to the head, we'll also have the silver face, the blue visor, and instead of it just being like a nub of blue back here, that whole kind of handle on the back of her head will also be the Allspark blue. So, you know, it is what it is, right? The other thing worth noting is that back here, we have a roof on the truck that's fine. I probably mentioned this before. This is probably overkill. This one is fine. I like it because I don't want the gimmick of it combining with anything. But where this panel is, that's able to combine on the Hasbro version with, well, it's shown with Spitfire, right? So it is what it is. My point is that neither the Hasbro nor the Takara is any more right or wrong compared to the animation. They're just varying degrees of correctness. Do you prefer a more indigo colored blue, or do you prefer like a more, you know, aftermath type of blue, right? That would have to be up to you. But in terms of the animation, I think the aftermath purple, sorry I said blue, but the aftermath purple is actually more correct. I like this, but I think the aftermath purple is more correct. As such, I'm going to say that the Hasbro version, in terms of being accurate to the animation, will be somewhere around an 8.5. I think this version is somewhere around an 8. I actually think it's less accurate to the animation. I mentioned earlier too, these blasters, they can, of course, go in the hand. Fairly tight fit, which is good, I guess. But if you don't want them there, you can either put them here, like they are in truck mode, or, I've discovered, you can also take the little sight, I suppose, that's on the top, like the little piece that sticks up on the top, and that fits in here. So I actually tend to, like, put that one there, and put That one there. And if you're wondering if they're loose, no, not really. Doesn't fall out or anything like that. So we have an 8 so far. I haven't scored the transformation yet, even though we already did that. We did that out of order because I wanted to come back and show all of this stuff after. The head goes left, right. It can wiggle up and down a bit, not a lot, but a bit. The shoulders can do excellent T-pose. Shockingly, I thought the shoulder kibble was really going to get in the way, but it doesn't. The shoulder can go all the way around. The arms can go. Well, sorry, you have like a elbow here to 90 degrees because of the ball joint. That gives you your bicep swivel. Nothing at the wrist. If you want the arm to go forward, I mean, you bring the whole shoulder forward, and like that's all fine. It's all free flowing. There is no waist, but let me take these blasters out of it for a moment. There is no waist, but that said, you can pick this up a little bit, and then, this is so weird. Like the upper torso, just under the chest, can turn, like all the way around. I'm presuming that this hinge, as weird as it is, exists so that you could take the connector piece here and put it into Spitfire, and I guess do something with the legs behind, I suppose. Put this into Spitfire and have half a robot on top of Spitfire. That said, I guess it's a version of a waist rotation. I mean, I guess we'll give it to her. It's really weird. The hips only go out that far, but I think it's as far as you need them to. It's too bad they can't go out a little bit more. Leg all the way forward, no problem. Leg back that far, no problem. And when you do the transformation, remember, make sure that you push the knee all the way up so that it does stay connected. Get you a knee to 90 degrees. I've seen a lot of people that like push the knee up and they have it up this far and think that that's as far as it goes, and then when they go to bend the leg, oopsie, this is happening, and they're like, that's a double knee bend. No, you have it mistransformed. This is supposed to go up, and then when you think you got it up all the way, just listen. You could probably hear that to go all the way in. So 90 degrees. No ankle tilt. That's the only real bummer with her, is I wish there was an ankle tilt. That said, taking the ankle tilt out of it, everything is here that I could want to be here. It really takes me back to the good old Generations, Prime Wars days of Deluxes, when we didn't really have a lot of hollowness early on. We ended up having hollowness. But early on, we didn't have a lot of hollowness. Ball joints were our friends. Same thing here. But I think that like everything here is tolerance well. Color me surprised, because I usually don't feel that way about Takara. But I think it's really, really well done. I'm going to give, let's see, we were giving the look an 8. I'm going to give the articulation, ankle tilt would be nice, and a wrist, I guess, would be nice. I'll say a 9, because I still feel like she's solid on her feet, and I can do lots of dynamic poses. So I'm going to say a 9. And the transformation that I already did, I thought it was smooth, I thought it was slick, I thought it was sweet. I'm going to say that the transformation's a 10. Overall, this is one of my favorite releases from Earthspark. This is one of my favorite Terrans. And honestly, I'm going to say that overall score for her is about a solid 9. And here we are, and here she is, and man, she's one of my favorite of the Earthspark line. I really, really like this. No QC issues, shockingly. Happy, but surprised with my experience with Takara. The last few times I've gotten something from Takara, though, it's been better than I expected. So, I don't know, maybe they've tweaked their tolerances over the years. The additional paint apps compared to the Hasbro really is just the blue down on the tummy here. And the blue and this orange on the inside of the foot. Otherwise, it's the same paint apps that the Hasbro one is having. I am very glad that I don't have a combination mechanism back here. It's just a flat roof. I do like this purple, though I won't lie, based on the animation, I do wonder if the Hasbro purple is a little more accurate. That might be a matter of you know, subjectivity. Then we get to the articulation. Really good articulation. I thought the shoulders were going to be hindered, but I mean, come on. I mean, full T-pose. They are not hindered at all. Really happy about that. I think putting them on ball joints was a smart idea because they can move up and down, and that gets you added additional range of motion. Ball joints at the elbows. Again, some people might not like that, but I don't have any issues with mine, so I'm happy with that. Even the rims have, though they're not colored silver like they should be, kind of like the running boards on the truck aren't colored silver like they should be, kind of like the sections way back here where you attach the blasters aren't colored silver like they should be. I can say that even despite that, like what we do have here is really, really good. The look is good, the articulation is good. The transformation is excellent. I really, really, really dig it. Very weird, I don't know what we would call it, torso twist? It's not a waist rotation, but you can get some motion out of it. Naturally, when we talk about accuracy, the tires here on the side should really push into the leg. I understand why they couldn't do that. I'm glad that they mimicked the tire being in here, and I understand why they didn't paint it since the actual tire's here. But it does mean that the color's a bit off. We don't have the gray and the yellow line here on the shin that we should have. Don't have that on the Hasbro one either. So, like, neither is a perfect hashtag, but both I think are going to be successful depending on, you know, how accurate you really need hashtag to be. I do like the two little blasters. I assume the Hasbro one will come with that. And while you can put them down on the leg, I do like that you can store them here on the back as well. The feet are completely wrong. This isn't what her feet looks like. She just has regular feet with purple on them. And she should have some purple on the back of her hand. So, you know, nothing that I'm going to gripe about. I think she's an excellent, excellent Transformer. She's fun. She has great articulation. She poses well, even with a couple of limitations. She is kind of, she gives me vibes of like an old school Deluxe. And when I say old school Deluxe, I'm talking like, you know, 2013 to like 2018. She really puts me in the mind of the Deluxes of that era. She is fun. She is involved, but she's also simple enough to be enjoyable and won't take you all day to do the transformation. And you know what? You can still get some pretty dynamic poses with her. Let me know what you think about hashtag. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you are at it, hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel, and don't forget, not for a moment, not for a second, man, that you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.